Hey there guys, welcome back for the next episode of painting up Loken. So, we've got a few things to do with this one. First of all, we've got this copperish type look in here and on here, as well as parts of the gun. We've also got obviously the silvers of the gun and then the golds for the trims and that. So I think what I'm going to do first, now I've got a bit of a mess on the palette here. We've got Retributive Armor, Balthazar Gold, which for some reason is running all over the place, some Screaming Bell, and some Auric Gold, I think it is. Yeah, Auric Armor Gold. So what we're going to do first is get some Balthazar Gold. Well, I think this may have gone too thin with whatever water is on the palette, but we'll have a look. See what we can get on here. This is just to get a base down, but yeah, that's gone a bit too thin. Don't know why it did that. So we'll get a good shake up and get another little blob out there. There we go, that's a bit better. Must have had some water down along this crease. So we'll get this in, try and get this nice and smooth, and that is on the knee guard here and the wrist guard on this hand. Now there is a scratch in there, you know, some battle damage. So we will try and put some detail on with that a little bit later on. But for now, just going to go around and get all these areas that are going to have that brass copper look. Right, and then for the backpack, now from what I can gather, it is just the top here. These pipes and the exhaust vents at the bottom are all metallic, you know, gunmetal metallic. So just going to go in and see if we can get this without having to take backpack off. It is only blue tack down for now. I think maybe to get into some of these under areas we may have to take it off and hold it separate to the model. Right, and then on the gun, now the angle of the gun is a little bit difficult to see, but from what I could tell, I've got some green on there, so what we'll do, quickly throw some black on there just to clean that up. That's fine there. Okay, so I'm going to take the backpack off here, hold it by the bottom, and just get this Balthazar Gold on here. Now, like I said, the Balthazar is going to be the shadow area of this copper brass look. I'm not sure what it is, but it's certainly not gold. And this is a very dingy dark gold, but it is different to what he has on the rest of his armour. I have to say, I don't like Games Workshop metallics. I am going to look into swapping those out. I may take a look at the Vallejo series, but if any of you guys have any recommendations, let me know, and I'll take a look. That's looking like that Balthazar Gold run is wanting to ruin my palette there. Never mind. Right, so that can sit to dry for a second, and then we'll just make sure that we've got this knee. Yep, there it's scarred. Right, I'm not going to bother cleaning the brush. All I'm going to do now is go into this Screaming Bell, and all I want to do is just stipple this in. It's not going to be a huge noticeable difference, but we are going to throw in a wash over this as well. So obviously anywhere where I want it to be brighter is where we're going to put this, and then the darker is going to be the Balthazar Gold with some of that wash that we were just talking about. Now the underside of the arm can stay like that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is take just a small amount of the auric armour, just to try and lighten up. There you go. This is giving it more of a rose gold look now, and then I can use this just as highlight on some of this upper area and inside knee area. There we go. And then for the backpack, I'll wait until this is dried and then we'll apply it and paint that in. But for now, that is looking like that is all done. Alright, so I've just noticed that these two panel pieces on the side of him are actually green on the inside. They are armour plate, and I thought they were metallic, like the golds, but maybe with this in there and then the gold trim. So I'm just going to go in quickly and because they are a little bit in shadow, especially this side, I haven't got to worry too much about highlighting or anything, but we will just stipple in a little bit of texture. There we go. Right, now I'm going to take the Retributive Armor, which seems to have run a little bit as well, and we're going to carefully start to line all of this gold trimming. Now, I'm not a huge fan of non-metallic metal anyway, so I will say that I think with something, you know, trimming this small, I definitely wouldn't personally go non-metallic with it, just because I don't have the experience. However, saying that, I can't see it being too difficult, as it's only thin area, so you just got to literally dot in the shadows and the highlights and stuff. However, I have asked you guys, by the time you've getting to watch these videos, that poll would have been done. It was only running for 3 days, as to whether or not you would like me to paint next month's Lionel Johnson in non-metallic or true metallic for his gold sections and obviously his weapon and that. At the time of painting this and recording this, I don't know what the results are from that yet, but it will be interesting to see how I go about tackling that. So obviously, if you want to see that, make sure that you are signed up for next month's Patreon. Not only do you get to see that then, but you're also helping support the channel with another month of funding. And if you're watching this on YouTube and you're enjoying it and would like to get the early access versions, then head on over to Patreon and check that out. Alright, so gold trim around all of this, and you can see now putting this yellow gold on there really makes that screaming bell look a lot more copperish and less like gold. Alright, so I'm just going to paint along the top of this. Don't want to do down the back, but I do want to do the sides. And then just under his leg here, he's obviously got the gold trim that is following around from this bit here. Obviously being very careful not to touch that green that we applied earlier on. Now for the majority of the trimming, as I said with Abaddon, I like to use the side of the bristles, not the point. Obviously there's some areas where you can't get away with that, but if you can use it, it's much safer in my eyes, in that you can't slip off that fine edge and get paint where it shouldn't be. So there's the Aquila and the belt symbol. Now the centre of this is this darker look, but for that I'll get some Balthazar Gold sort of washed in there after doing the trim, and then if any of it touches the trim I can just go back over a little bit and neaten that up. Right, the eye obviously has that gold trim around the edge of it, so you want that to stand out. And all I'm doing basically is just moving from one side of the model and then up, so concentrate on the legs, get all of this done, and then I can move on to the shoulder pauldrons where there's a little bit more detail to the gold. Alright, grab the back of the knee plate here. Obviously this knee plate is gold trimmed as well. But the thing with the knee plate there is obviously it's got the eye that we've got to go around as well. So that's the gold trim there, and we've got this one around the knee here, or around the thigh, sorry. So we've got a bit of gold on there. We can clean that back up in the cleanup stage. Right, now I'm just going to go around and pick off all the small rivets on the armour with this gold. So all these little ones on the back of the legs. And then we can move up and do the arms. That's that. The ones on here I do believe are in the same colour. Oh no, they are green, so good job I checked that. Gold, sorry. So we've got one here, one in the centre, and then one on the outside edge, one there, and there, and then here and here. And then this bit here is gold, as well as that. And then got some major gold on the sword there, not a problem. Obviously we'll just go back over that with some black in a bit and clean it up. Right, and then the Aquila Wing here with the eye there, but that eye is gold. And then we've got the inside, there's no Aquila, but there are some of the little power nodes and that, so we'll do them gold for now, and then if we need to change them back to black or silver, we can do that when we come round to them. Right, round this elbow and the gauntlet here. And I think with the gauntlet there's actually gold detailing in the middle. So I'll make sure that we can pick that out a little bit. Like so. Right, so now to the pauldron. We'll get this outside trim done first, it's going to be the easiest. Get that X in there. Right, so we are getting there with it. So now onto this shoulder pad. And this one obviously going to take a little bit more detail. We've got the studs and that to do on this one. Right, so I'm just going to stick this on each stud. I'm not too worried if I go onto the black, although if I can help it I'd rather not. But we are going to put a wash around these if we need to anyway. Okay, so apologies for that there guys, the battery died and I didn't notice, but all I've done is just spot highlighted across this edge in line with this highlight with the lighter sort of goldy bronze that we've made up, and then obviously I did the same just on the outside edges of the gun here. So all that's left to do now is the metals, the silver metals on the gun, the chain sword, this pipe that runs right around to his back, and these pipes and stuff down here. So what I'm going to do is do these first so that we can then take the backpack off once it's dried and do the inside, and then we'll work our way around do any other bits. So here I've got some lead Belcher and some Stormhost silver for highlighting this. So like I said, we'll start here work our way round. Now, so that I haven't got to come back in and throw a wash in here, what I'm going to try and do is sort of dry pull the bristles across these pipes, leaving those darker recesses in there, and then we can highlight across that if I need to. The beauty of metallics is they save time in that you don't have to add highlights and such. Obviously with true metallics, to get just a little bit more detail, we do that. So that's the silver in those done. Then what we'll do for the feet, just going to very roughly do this in, because this is going to be scratched up and dirty anyway, with obviously, you know, running on surfaces and stuff. So I don't need to worry about it being a perfect clean look. Right, so we're going to do the teeth in this, and then what I'm going to do is stipple this if I can. Might end up just painting it. No, we'll paint it and we'll throw a wash on. Much easier. What I was hoping to do was get a bit more of a rough brushed look to it without having to do the wash. We've got a couple of wires there. I think I will do them red when I do the cloak. Right, for the inside of here, I'm pretty much using my rule of, if it can't be seen, it ain't got to be clean. Obviously within limits. You don't want to make a total mess under there. But if you can't see it, don't worry too much about getting detail and stuff like that in there. Just get the paint in as clean as possible. But you know, there's no need to fuss about it if it can't be seen when on display. Obviously, you know, you want to get in there, get details and all that, in case somebody picks it up and really twists it around to look at it. But again, unless they're going to be squinting their eyes and really pushing to see in that area, they're not going to notice anything. Right, now obviously we've got the piping that goes from the side here. Alright, and then like I said, on the straps at the top here, we do have some buckles and such. There we go. In there we've got the couple of wires and some buttons. You can just do them in the silvers. Not sure what other colour they would be in there. And then we can take this off, and although we can't see it, we will still do a little bit of paint in there. Right, so that is pretty much done. All I've got to do now is put some washes on these. Okay, and for that, all we're going to do is grab some Nuln oil and then pretty much spot place it. What I'm trying to do is darken up those recesses, such as along this edge here and the lower portions, and leave the top a little bit brighter. And just give it a bit more of a grimy look. And obviously we've still got to grime this up and such yet. Make it look like he has been in battle and not just stepped off a nice clean ship. This was, after all, one of the most bloody battles of the heresy, or at least the start of the heresy, was the Yusvan massacre, and this little traitor section that they did against their own units. Right, so that's that one done. Now what I'm going to do is use some Reichland Flesh Shade Gloss, and this I hate because this pot lid never stays up, but this is going to be used for the outer edges of this and the cuff link here. And there we go. So we'll let those dry, and then we'll come back and get the cloak done. So I'll catch you guys in just a bit once we let this dry, and then we'll cut back and get that done.